Good evening, baseball fans. It is Sunday, May 19th. I should know this, but I had to look at the calendar. This is Suzy. That is Tom. This is Bourbon and Baseball Astros edition. And before we get into it, I'm going to give you the rated R warning because this is an adult podcast for all of the four-letter words and inappropriate adult humor, but none of the nudity, because that's not how we roll. You got to do that on paid. Oh, I'm just kidding. There is no paid side. Unless you want to give us money, we're still not doing that. It's just give us the money. That'd be great. With that, we're gonna get into it because guess what, y'all? We are no longer in last place. We are no longer in last place in the division. Nope, we're not even in second to last place in the division. No, we are coming for him. We are coming for him. Don't let the boys get fucking hot. Don't do it. So all y'all that said, "Oh, the Astros are dead. I might as well sell the team. Golden era is over." Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Okay. We listen, guys. It's early. It's still early, and we're playing much better. We're playing a whole hell of a lot better. A whole hell of a lot better. So let's get into it. We took 2 of 3 from the Brewers. That's how you win a series. In case you're new around here, that's how you win a series. You take 2 of 3 or 3 4, but that's a little bit harder to do. But we took 2 from the Brewers, and that second game, let's rewind. Let's go game by game. Did you watch any of the games besides Sunday's game, Tom?
I watched all the games
All the games. Okay. Out of all of the games, which one was your favorite game?
today because
Today's
I got to
game.
watch it with you.
That's true. Who wouldn't want to watch games with me? FYI, if you want to do that, you can hop on over to the PSF app because that's where we watch the games together and you can hear all of my quippiness in real time, people, in real time. I know that's the majority of y'all's dreams and aspirations is to hear all of my quippiness in real time. You can do that over on the PSF app. My favorite game was probably today, not because I got to watch it with you though, Tom, was because Kyle Tucker homered multiple times after he changed his shoes. So that's what this episode is called. This episode is called Just a Little Stitious. If you guys don't know, it is Orbit's birthday, and we celebrated Orbit's birthday all weekend, but today apparently is actual Orbit's birthday. He is 4,003 years old. I don't actually know how old he is. I just made that number up, but it sounds good. And Kyle Tucker, being the festive guy that he is, said, "You know what? I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate Orbit's birthday." And he had on Orbit cleats. And I don't know if those Orbit cleats were not broken in. I assume they weren't broken in, but I don't know if they pinched his toes, if he wasn't comfortable in them. But these Orbit cleats, y'all, he went 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. Kyle Tucker, 3 Ks. That's not King. That's not our King that we know. So, fourth at bat. Those are orange shoes, Kyle Tucker. Those are orange shoes. And now, as I was noticing that he had changed his shoes, the broadcast was noticing that he had changed his shoes, and it's like they have a direct line into my brain. And then as soon as we notice that he changed the shoes, what happens? What happens? He hits a dinger. He hits a dinger. And I was like, no one is ever going to see those Orbit green shoes ever again. The Orbit shoes are going to be burned. They're probably not going to be burned. They're probably going to be like donated to a charity or something. But whatever. We're never going to see Orbit green shoes again. I don't think Kyle Tucker is going to do any sort of celebrating for any of the things ever again. Because the Mother's Day game with the bat, had to go change bats. Was it bats or was it a glove?
I think it was a
Do
bat.
you remember? It was a bat. It was like a pink bat or something. He had to go change that back. The shoes, the cleats. I don't think Kyle Tucker's like, fuck all of you. I'm so sorry. I do have spirit. Yes, I do. I'm just not gonna show it. Because
He meant well. He started off well. He's I'm repping Orbit. I'm rocking these shoes colored like him. He meant well. And then he said, you know what? Deion Sanders once said, look good, feel good, play good. Apparently he didn't feel like he looked good, so he wasn't playing good. So he didn't feel good. So he changed his shoes. And then bing, bang, boom, double dong.
we love it. We love it. We got the dub today, 9-4. After Jordan got some hits, he looks a little bit more locked in. We love that for him. After JonSingleton is working walks and getting hits, Jake Meyers, hand up. That's on me. That's on me, okay? I did. If you'll go back and you listen to the Jake Myers slander that I had, I never thought that Jake Myers was a bad player. I just thought Jake Myers was not a good player for this team on this team. If he went somewhere else, cleared his head, got rid of the cobwebs, got rid of the history, he would be that guy. He would be that guy. This guy that we're currently seeing. I think he went 3 for 4 today. Is that what Jake Myers did? Let's see. Let's make sure that I'm not slandering his good name even more. because I know he went 3 for 3 at first. Excuse me, he went 3 for 5. 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs, and this is that Jake Meyers that we saw when he first came up, before he hurt his shoulder, right? This is the Jake Meyers that I have a rookie card somewhere back there of Jake Meyers, like Space Cowboys rookie, like autographed rookie card somewhere back there, hidden behind Chas.
All the way behind Chas.
All the way behind Chas because I am, if not anything but loyal, because Chas will always be my guy. However, I'm going to be the saddest bitch in town when I have to watch Chas in another uniform because this outfield is crowded as fuck. And I think they're going to trade him. And it makes me very sad. And if that confused you a little bit, just a FYI for reference, I think they're going to trade Chas McCormick and they're going to keep Jake Meyers. However, I think now we figured out the reason why Jake Meyers is playing as well as he is. Congrats, Jake Meyers. You and your beautiful wife, Maddie, apparently are expecting a baby. Got that big dad energy, that BDE, baby. Big dad energy. Okay, so I think he's okay. I now got 2 mouths to feed. Like we got to get that contract. We got to get that arbitration money. So congrats, Jake Meyers. But I'm going to be very sad. I'm going to be very sad watching Chas in another uniform.
I really don't know if Chas is gone. A lot of people, we spent the day on the PSF app speculating, how do you do it? What do you do? Where do you go? Who do you move? For me, and I know I'm in the minority, I know people will come for me, but I'm moving MauricioDubon if I'm moving somebody. I think the fact that you have a replacement for the utility guy and he plays once a week, I feel like if you have any scenario at all in which KyleTucker is not a member of this baseball team, then it is important to have a young, controllable asset like Chas to play outfield. I hope for everyone, Suzy included, they pay that man a king's ransom. We're not talking about it. But I don't know. He's leading the league in homers, the American League in homers, tied with Gunnar Henderson.
Tied.
So when you start to talk about all the things and all the money that he could command, it's probably smart for Dana to hold on to a guy like Chas in the event that can't pay KyleTucker.
No, we're paying KyleTucker. We are speaking it into existence. That's what we're doing. That is what we are doing. We are speaking it into existence. Uncle Jim, you need to open up the wallet, open it up. Just open it up and give KyleTucker all of the monies.
I
All
agree.
of it.
I absolutely agree.
Even if that means not being able to pay AlexBregman.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And it's going to hurt because he's a staple. He's a cornerstone, foundational piece. I hope they find a way to keep him too. However, I don't know. They're both going to want a lot of money. One deservedly, one not so much.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know that with the numbers that AlexBregman has put up, he can command that kind of money. His resume, the back of the baseball card, says one thing. The last 3 seasons, he's basically taken April and May off. This season, May 15, we want to say? It's about when he got, well, no, a little earlier than that. Maybe May 10th is when he got rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But first 2 months, month and 3 quarters, we need you there, big dog, if you want to be paid like you want to be paid.
Yeah. Okay. So devil's advocate, words are hard. What about his history has told you that he's going to get hot from the beginning of the season?
Nothing.
None of his seasons he's gotten hot until the weather was warmed up, essentially. I guess it's a good thing that he plays in a freaking stadium half of his games, because I don't know what the F he'd do in Minnesota or Detroit. I don't think either one of those places are going to pay him. Cold weather, I don't think would help him hinder. No, it would definitely hinder him. Words are hard.
In the offseason, he moved to Arizona. So that kind of tells you that he needs the warm weather. He thrives in the warm weather. But
as if Houston is not warm 99% of the year. Come on.
True. Very true. Very true. I don't know. I know people love the flexibility that Dubon provides, and I think that's great. I just like Chas a little bit more than I like Dubon, personally.
I just need everybody to know that Tom does not reflect the feelings and no, I'm just kidding. That is Tom's point of view. That is his opinion, and we respect all of the opinions on this show. I would probably maybe not agree with you. I would say that we would probably get a better return if we try to trade MauricioDubon.
I agree with that too.
That would probably be the better trade option. I don't think it's going to happen, obviously. But again, we've said it before, the stock on MauricioDubon is not going to be any higher than it is now, especially with his leading the league with runners in scoring position. Somebody fact check me on that. Is that just the American League? Is that all of MLB? What is that? I need to give a shout out to Joey Lopes, JoeyLoperfido getting hits. We love that. We love him getting the singles. We love him finally hitting his first home run. Hooray. I was not aware that JoeyLoperfido and AlexBregman were quote unquote blood brothers. If you guys missed that on Instagram, everybody should go follow all the players on Instagram. You find all kinds of things out. And if I do not see a JoeyLoperfido, AlexBregman, Luigi, and Super Mario mashup at Halloween, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I will.
You're not going to get that because they're the opposite heights. JoeyLoperfido is entirely too tall to be Mario and Bregman be Luigi.
I can't help it that Alexander David Bregman is 5'9". That's not on me.
If you want the Mario and Luigi reference, the guy that's actually named Mario should be Mario.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Luigi's taller than Mario.
Taller. I know. Okay. Listen, for a picture, Bregman can be on a fucking box. I don't care. All right. I need Mario and Luigi. I need Bregman and Joey to do this. And when you hear the name JoeyLoperfido, you're like, oh, okay, that sounds a little Italian, but whatever. And then you hear his full name, Mario Joseph Loperfido, and you're all, there it is. There's the Italian. So good. It's so good. I love it.
The funny thing is that you brought him up. Like, JoeyLoperfido is the reason we're having the conversation at all, because he's playing so well that you almost can't envision a scenario where you send him back down. So now you got to find room for JoeyLoperfido that you would not have had to find at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. Good problem to have, obviously, because what happens when you have too many good players? I don't know, Baltimore Orioles, why don't you tell me? But they got him. And my quote unquote solution to this problem is if/when Chas comes back up. Now, I think Chas, I don't know, needs to hurt something else, quote unquote, and maybe stay down in AA, AAA, or something else. One for 14, Chas? What's happening, sir? 1 for 14? That against AA and AAA pitching? What are we doing, Chas? What's happening here? I would think that he would be raking against AA and AAA pitching, but no. 1 for 14?
Not
Chas,
good.
Come on now.
And see, that's the funny thing. So we were talking about on the PSF app, and I would really advise you, like I advised them, to check us out over there the way I told them to check us out over here. We were talking about what do you do when all these guys come back? Potentially, based on what Dana Brown said in the pregame, you could have in the very near future Jose Abreu, Chas McCormick, and Jose Urquidy. That's 3 bodies that have to fill positions on a clubhouse that kind of feels good right now. I know nobody wants to say that, but even the relievers, even the starters, Urquidy's going to slide in and somebody's going to have to come out that's been playing pretty well as of late. And when you talk about Jose Abreu, I don't see them bringing him back to not play him. He gains nothing that way. Will he play as much? Probably not. But then when you bring Chas back, it's the same scenario. I don't see Chas just all of a sudden watching JoeyLoperfido play 3 times a week and then Dubon get run, and then, okay, Jordan's going to play left field, and then you can't touch Jake right now because he's white hot, and KyleTucker is one of the best players on the planet. So you're limited. What are you going to do? And it was a really interesting conversation where people were like, man, I don't know.
I think that's what has to happen. I think that it has to be a platoon situation where Joey is in for right-handed pitching, but then that means he gets the bulk load of at bats, and then because Chas rakes against left-handed pitching, he was doing really well against right-handed pitching. Guys, Jake Meyers has made me say all of the nice things about him. Like, all of them. He has a 156 OPS plus now. He is literally playing out of his mind.
It's elite.
In the last 5 games, he has hit 2 home runs, 2, 3, 4 RBIs, drawn 2 walks, struck out 3 times, stolen a base. He's doing literally all of the things, like 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. And the Detroit game, he came in the 7th inning and then got hits every at bat. He is playing out of his mind. He's ARB eligible next season. This is what he's doing, y'all. Like, this is what he's doing. Jacob Berkshire Myers. We are filing that away for use later on.
You and all these middle names. She's got everyone's
Jacob.
middle name.
Jacob Berkshire Myers. That's Berkshire. That's good. I like that. I need to figure out where that comes from. Anyways, I'm not even going to look up Chaz's numbers because they're not good. They're not going to be good. But the fact that Jake Meyers is playing this well, and Joey, I want to say, has like a 300 plus batting average, right?
333
at
at
Good
the
night.
at the end of the game. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Substantial.
This. What do you do? What do you do, people? What do you do? Put what you guys would do in the YouTube comments, or tell us on the Instagram or on the Twitter, because I would love to know what you guys would do.
JoeyLoperfido is 13 for 39 with a homer, 5 RBIs, and a stolen base, and an 817 OPS.
That's
Goodwood.
dumb. That's so dumb. Speaking of ridiculous calls, I texted this to Kelsey because I heard this on the Orioles broadcast. And I was like, you shut the fuck up. He did not say that. He did. He was talking about Ryan O'Hearn, and this was the actual call that he did. O'Hearn put some good wood on that and just snuck it into the hole. I'm sorry, what now? Just stop it.
If you don't know that they're talking about baseball, none of that's going to make sense.
What's
the way you want it to, anyway.
Well, you know what you said, Kevin Brown. Why did you have to say it like that, sir? I can't. Anyways, that is the tangent that I had to go on right then. We win the SpencerArrighetti start, and if you look at SpencerArrighetti's line, unfortunately, I think Espada was trying to get a little greedy and try and push him farther than he had ever gone. Obviously, the number of pitches he had thrown, I think were like in the 80s, through 6, and he'd given up a run. One single run. Just one. And Espada went and said, let's try it. Nobody else was warming, mind you. Nobody was warming in the 7th. A single, a walk, and a walk,
single,
wasn't
I
it?
believe. I believe it was a single right at the left fielder that loaded him up.
Let us see, peoples. Let us see. But regardless, he ended up with all of the runs on his ledger today. And it unfortunately shouldn't have. It shouldn't have, because had he just come out of the 6th, he would have just gotten the 1 run. Just the 1. Let's see here. Single, walk, strikeout, single. He got 1 out. But by that point, the bases were loaded. Brian Abreu comes in. Bryce Terang singles. Now the score is 6-3. William Contreras flies out. Christian Yelich singles. Now it's 4-6. And then Willie Adames flies out. 3 runs gets put on SpencerArrighetti's ledger, unfortunately. So if you just look at this line from this game, you're going to be like, that's not great. But it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't. Because he really should not have pitched that 7th. Or somebody should have been warming immediately in the 7th. So if he got himself into trouble, like after the walk, somebody could have come in and been like, so, nope, there we go. But that's okay. That's all right. That's how you learn. You stretch. And
99 pitches for SpencerArrighetti was a career high.
Yeah. So it got a little greedy, but it's all right. The real ones know. About SpencerArrighetti, right? So Justin Verlander, unfortunately, had an at-bat with William Contreras that he just lost. That was a beautiful at-bat. 14, I think, pitches. And we all know that Justin Verlander is going to give up a home run, right? And we just hope that it's like a single home run at the beginning of the game. Unfortunately, it was not a single home run. It was a 3-run home run. That was the death knell essentially, in
Poor,
the 5th inning.
poor JV. Each one of the starters in this series gave up 4 earned runs. JV is the only one that took the L.
We don't give JV run support because that's not what we like to do. We do not like to give JV run support. We all know this. So that game, unfortunately, we lose 4-2. And yeah, we can put the onus on JV for giving up that home run, but also, what the fuck? 2 runs? Come on now. I think, how many did we leave on base in that one? That one, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. We left 7 on base. Those aren't great numbers. Not great. Not horrible. Not as horrible, but not great. The Friday night game was delightful. I went to that game in person, and HunterBrown pitched. If you take the home runs out of it, pitched great. And really,
He's
if you take all the home runs out of it, then nobody would score because legitimately all of the runs were scored via home run.
he's very Verlander-like in that sense that he's going to give up probably 1. And that inning is probably going to be a big inning. And if it's just the 1, he's going to pitch really well. And if he doesn't, then you'll look back to it. But I feel like his pitch count was more economical in this game. I don't think the stats show it as much. But I feel like the last 2 or 3 times out with HunterBrown, he's been better. I know he threw 93 pitches, but to get all the way through 5 as opposed to 4 to third, those 2 outs are big. It's how he got the win.
Yep. Shout out to the bullpen. TaylerScott doing magical things. Came in, and another big shout out to ShawnDubin that came in and did magical things, and unfortunately had to get sent down for a fresh arm. Parker Machinsky is up for him, and that's a shame. Like, how hard of a conversation is that for Joe Spada to be like, we appreciate you, you did awesome, but I got to send you down because you literally can't pitch today. It's not going to be Seth Martinez.
No, but Seth probably was the guy that could have went to Dubin and been like, look, man, this happened to me all this season. This is not on you. I'm sure Joe Espada said the same thing. So they just have to have somebody up here. You've got options to go down. They're going to bring you right back up. They did me the exact same way. You're good.
And Ryan Presley's still unavailable to pitch because of a sore finger, but apparently will not be going on the IL. Brian Abreu has looked so much better. And between Brian Abreu and Josh Hader, they have been bringing their numbers way down. So the fact that Brian Abreu is now in like the mid 3s, we love that. And Josh Hader, listen, people, Josh Hader just needed to get his footing. Okay. Again, we think baseball players should just pop in and be fine and do the things that they're supposed to do. But unfortunately, guess what? Baseball players are also human, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And we've not buried them on this show. We have had some sharp words. But I think now that everybody's gotten their footing and gotten the roles a little bit more under their belt, I think we've got a good pace and a good gelling together of the clubhouse. And let's chat about Jose Abreu and Big John doing all the things. Shout out to Lindsay. I love that you roast your husband online. It makes me very happy. I love that so much. If you don't follow Lindsay on Twitter, you probably should, because it's a fucking riot. Fun little nuggets, like the fact that she tweeted out that Mason, their daughter's favorite player, is playing at Minute Maid Park this weekend. No, not JonSingleton. Nope, that would be second baseman Bryce Terang of the Milwaukee Brewers. That is Mason's favorite player. Like that, I love that. Like that cracks me up. And apparently when John came back up, when he was with the Brewers, Bryce Terang she was enamored with Bryce Terang and was just super nice to Mason, and that is her favorite player. And that makes me giggle so much. Also, when Big John tried to stretch that single into a double, Big John, sir, come on now. Like, you a tank. You a motherfucking tank, okay? We don't expect speed out of you, sir. Like, and then her tweeting out after that was not fast as fuck, boy. That is cinema, and I love it. I love it so much. But the fact that Big John is doing all of these things, and Jose Abreu, they're even just contemplating bringing back Jose Abreu now is mind-boggling to me.
Well,
Legitimately mind-boggling.
they didn't say they were going to bring him back now. They said there
They're
was a
bringing him
chance
back in the 8th.
Friday. So there's probably 1 or 2 more games he's going to play West Palm Beach and then bring him up for the Oakland series.
Okay, but again, if he was lighting West Palm Beach up, if he was lighting any of like the AAA games up, I would say, okay, we've maybe figured out the whole bat speed problem. But the fact that he's gone 1 for 4, what is that? No, just absolutely not. As soon as he sees 95 miles an hour, what's going to happen again?
So here's what I'm going to tell you, and don't come for me. I'm
Alex,
just
nope.
stating the numbers. 1 for 4 is 250. What do you think John Singleton's batting average is right now?
222.
Exactly. So while I don't agree, I think John is very serviceable. I think there should be a straight up platoon, lefty righty, 50-50. I don't think he's going to get that. I think Joe Espada is going to try to lean back into the Jose Abreu thing because the Astros are paying him $19 million. They want a dude. I understand you don't care about anybody else's money. It's not yours. It doesn't matter. However, that is not changing that business going. We are not seeing ROI. For people that don't know what ROI is, that is return on investment. So I imagine Jim Crane, Jeff Bagwell, and the powers that be are going, I need this dude playing first base. And while let me say this again, I don't agree. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. At a point in time, Jose Abreu was way the fuck up here. John Singleton has never been up here. No knock. John Singleton's great. Jose Abreu was a fucking MVP. So they're trying to get whatever's left in that man's tank out. I'm not saying it's right. I just understand where it's coming from.
You done? You good?
Somebody's got to be that person. You weren't going to be that person.
I'm not going to be that person. I'm not, because there is no way that you can tell me, because he literally just started. He's been down there for 2 weeks. So he just got his mind right, did a shit ton of yoga, and now you're gonna sit here and tell me, oh yeah, no, he's good now. The bat speed's good. Now we've got the bat tracking speed in Fangraphs that we can see that will back up the data. But you know what else I see with my eyeballs? The fucking eye test when I have to watch this motherfucker do the things at bat. I'm all, why Jose Abreu? Now, maybe he got some contacts and maybe they gave him a magical shot of something that makes his back feel good. I don't know. All right. Maybe we see the Jose Abreu with rest that we got last season. I still say after that IL stint, he got some sort of like magical thing to make his back not hurt no more. It makes me so sad, because what have we said all of this time? That if John Singleton got run, John Singleton got every day at bats, that he could be the serviceable player. And that's all we need right now. That's all we need.
Mm-hmm.
So then why are we upsetting the cart?
Because everything I just said.
I don't care.
Because I know you don't. But here's the other side of the coin. Jake Meyers was messed up in the head. Jake Meyers was striking out crazy, making boneheaded plays in the outfield, noodle arm, the letting the ball get away, all the things. Remember? Because his head was not on straight. So then what happened? They had faith in Jake Meyers. They gave him all the run. Said, Jake Meyers, you're our guy. And all of a sudden, the lights came on. Now Jake Meyers is white hot, and he looks like this dude. They were trying to do the same thing with Jose Abreu. That's all I'm saying. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay, so then how much run do you give Jose Abreu?
That's a great question. I don't know. Because at some point, you got to go, look, it ain't working, which we did. We said it needs to be Chas, strap Jake to a rocket, send him to the moon. We said that on this podcast. And they said, fuck y'all. We think he can still be a baseball player, and he is. So they are going to attempt to do the same thing with Jose Abreu. They gave him 2 weeks to sit around in West Palm Beach and eat Puerto Rican food and play good music and chill, have the fam probably, some R&R, feed up. Then it's like, all right, now let's spring train you all over again. And he got in there and he got a couple knocks. I think he got a double and a single. I think he's 2 for 10 is what he is. And do I think that's good? No. But I got to believe Uncle Jim is going, I'm not paying this dude $19 million to not play baseball for this club. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him right. That being said, I hope that when he comes back, they treat him situationally. Okay, it's a left on left. We're gonna sit Big John. We're gonna play Jose. It's a guy he's got good numbers against. We're gonna play Jose. But I hope they do the same thing with Chas too. Everybody's saying just Chas is in this position. Chas should go back to work. Chas is stinking it up in Corpus. He's like 1 for 14. Why would I take JoeyLoperfido out of the lineup to put 1 for 14 Chas? Because of the chomp? Because of the catch? It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. How are you going to tell me that you're going to take out JonSingleton and put in Jose Abreu when it's not the same? Because the results that Jose Abreu is doing in West Palm Beach, they're not great. They're not great.
And I agree. And that's why I'm saying you should treat both of them the same. If you're going to play Jose, then you should play Chas. If you're not going to play Jose, then don't play Chas.
Okay, but I don't think that their fates are going to be tied together.
No, the
You
production
know what I'm
will
saying?
determine that. But I think that both of them are not producing wherever they are. So why would you take producing guys out? Chas, again, has your heartstrings. He's right over your shoulder. So he is going to go, Chas, I need you to get back to work. Chas is younger. He should. However, the guys that signed Jose Abreu are saying he was the MVP like 4 years ago and hit a bajillion home runs.
That
I
was 4
want that
years
guy.
ago.
I understand. I'm not arguing that, Suzy.
I
I'm just
know.
saying, the same way you want Chas in your outfield, the people that cut the checks want Jose Abreu at first base.
Listen, I need Bagwell to stay far away from Jim Crane's ear. Side note, James Click bet his career on Jake Meyers. I don't know why I took the S off of that. And it looks like Jake Meyers is now proving James Click correctly. Do you think that James Click is just sitting up in his office in the Blue Jays organization, just maniacally laughing and doing one of these numbers? No?
You know why? Because he's probably really bitter because he's not the general manager of the Houston Astros. Because he's not sitting at the top of one of the best organizations in baseball. I think if I'm James Click, I am trying to trade for Jake Meyers. I think that's if I'm trying to build a ball club and they don't want the guy that I was like, oh no, that's the dude. You know,
But where are you going to put Jake Meyers now? Now reverse that for the Blue Jays because they've got Dalton Varsho and Kevin Kiermaier and Davis Schneider, who's not even getting like the run that Davis Schneider needs. And they're still putting George Springer at leadoff. You want to talk about an organization pointing to the back of the baseball card?
absolutely.
That's what they're doing to George Springer. Anyways, okay, let's go back. What is our record now? We are
21 and 26.
21 and 26. So we are now 4 games back of Texas. They
No,
are
Seattle.
Sorry, you're correct. 4 games back of Seattle. Texas is now 1.5 games back. And y'all, this is doable. This is very doable. We go in to a stretch of 3 games with the Angels, who I will give the Angels a lot of credit. Last night, they stretched into a 13-inning game with the Rangers, and they hit Nate Lowe to walk in a run. And that's how the Rangers won. Was a hit by pitch walk off. And it just broke my ever loving heart because in that game, they went. Are you sitting down? If you're not, you probably should because if you thought the Astros had it bad, my God. The Angels went 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 18, people. I would have yeeted myself off the building.
Could you imagine if Suzy was over there keeping track of all that?
Like I don't even like the Angels and it hurt my heart. I cannot even imagine what actual Angels fans are feeling. And I had tweeted out something and someone had DM'd me and was like, yeah. At this point, I'm just numb. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. You do. What do you do? It's so gross. So Ron Washington, tell me how you feel about this, Tom. Did you hear about the whole Ron Washington, Luis Guillorme drama a couple of days ago? Okay. Well, they just picked up Luis Guillorme from the Braves, I think, or he was on the Mets. Then he went to the Braves. Anyways, they just picked him up. So he's a brand new Angel. I think he's been an Angel all of, I don't know, 3-4 days at this point in time. Ron Washington tells him to get a bunt down, right? The pitch that Luis Guillorme missed for this bunt was in the other batter's box. The other batter's box. So he couldn't advance a runner. And in the presser after the game, Ron Washington fucking buried him. Flat out, by name, buried him. And had said, "Oh no, that's not my fault. I put the sign down. I did my job. He didn't do his job. He didn't even get that bunt down." Sir, what the fuck? Did you even see that pitch? Like, how the fuck is he supposed to get the bunt down when that pitch is in the other batter's box? It wasn't even fucking close. And all of the reporters are all, "What?" And they're like, "Oh no." He's like, "No, absolutely. I did my job. I told him. I told him what to do. Now it's his job to execute that. He didn't do his job." I was like, fuck me. I'm all for managers having their players take some sort of responsibility, but not to the fucking press like that. God damn. And to Luis Guillorme's credit, I guess he didn't know about it at that point in time, but like the next day he had heard about it and he's like, "No." He's like, that is my job. Luis Guillorme, shout out to you, sir. Good night. I've been like, I don't know how you think I'm supposed to hit that. That's another batter's box. That's what I would have done. But Luis Guillorme is like, no, like I should have lunge it. I should have tried.
But why didn't he just
You
take
know.
the pitch? I don't understand.
I think he did take the pitch. But then he swung away at the last one. And it wasn't. Regardless, it was a whole thing. There's some of that stuff going on. So we go into next week 3 at home with the Angels. And then we have an off day on Thursday. And then we go to Oakland and have 3 games with Oakland and then a 4 games with Seattle. By that time, it's going to be real interesting seeing, where the standings are and like who's all doing what where, because Seattle goes and plays who now? How do I change you? I need to change you to Seattle.
They play the Yankees next.
And then who?
Washington after that.
Seattle plays Yankees. That's going to be real interesting. And then Nationals. And Nationals have been sneaky good. And then the Rangers play
the Phillies.
Oh.
And then the Twins.
Y'all, this may be the turning point. This may be where we overtake them. This may actually be where we overtake them. Do you know who's supposed to pitch when? That's what I'm looking for on my phone. The Angels, whatchamacallit?
I know who pitches for us.
Yeah, who's going against who? That's what I was asking.
I believe it's Framber, CJ, and Hunter.
It is. Okay, so Astros Angels probables. It's FramberValdez versus Reed Detmers, CristianJavier versus Griffin Canning, and then HunterBrown versus Tyler Anderson. So Reed Detmers, if he's on, will be a strikeout machine.
I really feel like with the at-bats we saw from the Astros today, if they can have that same approach where they are just grinding out at-bats, we're talking Bregman had a bat that was vintage Bregman today, where it was like 8, 9, 10 pitches. I think he struck out on a nasty off-speed pitch, but the fact that he got it to a full count, fouled off a couple pitches, whether Reed Detmers is on or off or whatever, that's how you get into their bullpen. That's how you start to wear teams down. You get mistakes. Today, late in the game, JoeyLoperfido's on first base. William Contreras, who's trying to keep JoeyLoperfido from stealing, throws down, makes an errant throw. Loperfido's on third base. Those are the kind of things that were happening to the Astros early in the season. And they were just like a victim of it. And Suzy just lost her internet, so I will hold it down till hopefully she comes back. Interesting stat I saw today. The Astros have the second most games against above 500 teams at 34. So roughly, I'm not a math guy either, but if they've played 47 games and 34 of them were against plus 500 competition, you got to feel like eventually that's going to start to go the other way. That's obviously going to start this weekend with the Angels, or this week with the Angels, I'm sorry, and then turn around with Oakland right behind them to be able to have some of these teams that aren't as good that they can build on a little bit. We were talking about it on the PSF app, how the national media was really glazing the Yankees for sweeping the Chicago White Sox. I was like, Chicago White Sox are one of the worst teams in baseball. Fun fact, Chicago's played the most teams above 500 at 37. So really feel like right now, Jordan, if he gets locked back in, he has a couple of bats where he looks really good. He had a double down the line today, but then he had some at bats that kind of, he looked like he was looking for something different. You get him going. Altuve, who had slowed down a little bit, he hits a homer on the first pitch today. So you start to get these guys at the top going to match what you're getting from Jake Meyers, to match what you're getting from Jeremy Pena, to match what you're getting from John Singleton. And they're going to start scoring at a higher clip. Some of these pitchers are not the aces they had seen earlier on in the season. The Astros are in a prime position to face Seattle with the division on the line, or potentially with them being neck and neck, something like that. Maybe they have the division by then. There's nothing. The Yankees on paper right now, I don't think they're as great as some people make them out to be. They're the best, one of the best teams in baseball. So Seattle's got to go in there. They've got some tough pitching matchups that they've got to negotiate. They get Heel, the kid that we saw that struck out a ton, that struck out 14 White Sox. They get to face him. They're going to get Schmidt. So they're going to get some of the best arms the Yankees have, plus Giancarlo Stanton starting to figure it out. While all these other teams are beating up the guys above us, the Astros are going to have an opportunity to really be able to do a number on the division. And really, that's all you can ask. There's so many people that were ready to quit on this baseball team and just sell them off. Sell Bregman, sell Tuck, sell Verlander, get what you can for this guy, that guy. And it was way too early for all that. Dana Brown came out and said it. Team's too good. Water finds its level, that sort of thing. And now we're not even to June. We're not even to June, and we'd be talking about the Astros in a position to take the division over. July 31st being the trade deadline, I'll be really interested to see just how far things have gone, where they're at, and what do the Astros do? They don't need anything, in my opinion. They could obviously add for the sake of adding, but when you look at the guys that are going to start to come back healthy, and Lance McCullers and Luis Garcia and Jose Urquidy, those are three starters that were guys that were big-time postseason guys. I think Urquidy's got an amazing postseason record. You're going to have maybe too many guys. Who knows where they're going to turn around and move guys around or move guys down. It's going to be really interesting. So I don't know that we're going to get Suzy back. Checking with her right now. Invite everybody that's not doing the PSF app to come check us out. They're rolling out this cool peer-to-peer contest system. It's not wagering per se, but a contest system where we can pick a stat. Say we can pick total bases or homers or strikeouts or whatever. And you can pick your guy and I can pick my guy, and we can wager over who's going to get more. And I think that's really cool. Just something else to add to already the great environment that we have, where you're looking at the sports bar atmosphere from the comfort of your own home. And I don't think you can get that anywhere else. So other than that, like Suzy was saying, the rotation sets up really good. I think I look forward to talking about another winning series at the end of the Angels series. I'm sure we'll be back to cover that, to go over it all. We're pretty good about getting to y'all at the end of each series. Suzy is going to try to restart her router. So I will keep y'all entertained until then, hopefully. Yeah, it's been a really wild season. I don't think anybody had this situation on their bingo card. I love that the national media, who was so quick to bury the Astros, is now really quiet. They don't necessarily want to talk. The one guy that needs a lot of shine, that needs his flowers, that I think deserves the recognition is Ben Verlander. And while his brother is on the Astros, he was on both sides saying, look, they're not good, but I'm not going to quit on them. And he's been the same dude going, look, here they come. I told y'all we're going to quit on them. So Ben's been really consistent. I know we're not to that level, but I'd love to have him on this podcast one day. That'd be pretty dope to have Bourbon and Baseball meet Breaking Bats. So that'd be pretty dope. I don't know how much other baseball y'all follow. I know she's really good about talking about the All the Balls edition. But some really crazy storylines going on in MLB right now. The Reds, I think they're going to be a real deal really soon. Ellie De La Cruz is electric. He's still on a ton of bases. You got Paul Skeens. That kid, he pitches for the Pirates. He's amazing. I think it's one thing to say a dude's legit. It's another thing to see it and be like, can throw 104, can turn around, have all these different pitches with crazy break. So the season's been a wild one. And then there's Suzy. Thank you.
Ta-da! It's a magic trick.
Tell all the people where they can find you. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go. I don't even know what happened.
I was talking about the season. I was talking about how good the Astros sit. I was talking about some of the guys, some of the storylines around MLB with Ellie De La Cruz and Paul Skeens and how they should be listening to your other podcasts.
Perfect. We love a good hype man. We love a good hype man. Did you tell them about the headbands?
The headbands. No, tell them about the headbands.
We did not tell you about the headbands. Apparently, we never gave JonSingleton and Trey Cabbage credit for the headbands, but apparently when AlexBregman starts wearing the headbands and starts getting hits with them, then it's all the rage. Then an outbreak of headband from Mauricio shows up and gets all of the headbands. And now basically everybody in the clubhouse is wearing the headbands. So if it gets Jeremy Pena fired up, if it gets AlexBregman fired up, and that at bat that he had today, where he worked what, like a 8? No, I think it was like 10 pitches. I think it was a 10 pitch at bat that he unfortunately struck out on. But the fact that he even, like, that's what we got from him. They were just fouling away pitches and fouling away pitches. Like, that's the Breggy that we've known, that we have loved, that we have missed. And if a headband and a knob coming forward instead of, I don't even know what the knob thing is. The knob chest, apparently, as opposed to him like cutting off. I don't even, regardless, Breggy's getting hits. We love that. Breggy's working walks. We love that. Tucker's changing shoes and getting dingers. We love that. So I know it's not just our guys. Apparently Vinny Pasquantino from the Royals, I just read a story about how he was like over 14 and his manager had told him, and he normally like unbuttons the top 2 buttons of his jersey, his uniform, and his manager's like, it looks like super unprofessional. Like it looks like shit. Maybe button it up. I'm just saying. Vinny's okay. Because apparently his manager is like super quiet. And so if he says something, he means it and you probably should listen. So he said, okay. I think Matt Quattro, I think is his name. And so Vinny Pasquantino buttons it up, like buttons like a single button, gets a single, buttoned it up even more. And they intentionally walked, I want to say Michael Garcia to get to Vinny Pasquantino because he had been struggling. And Vinny Pasquantino hit a triple. And I need y'all to know that Vinny Pasquantino is not a small, lithe, fleet of foot person. Okay, so the fact that Vinny Pasquantino got a triple is in and of itself a feat. Vinny is, let's see, how tall is Vinny? 6'4", 245. 6'4", 245. That is a lot. Apparently, according to Salvi, he said that he looked like a truck. He was running like a truck. And Vinny said something like, he didn't say what kind of truck. So maybe it's like an 18-wheeler going downhill with no brakes. Like, I'm going to take that as a compliment. So the fact that like Vinny Pasquantino, 6'4", all 245 of him, got a triple. Because apparently, you look good, you feel good, you play good. Button it up. So now, again, it's not just Tuck, guys. It's not just Tuck. Apparently, it's all baseball players everywhere.
Stitious. So stitious.
Just a little stitious. Not superstitious, just a little. With that, guys, we are going to wrap it up. Hopefully my internet stays going until we can wrap it up. But Tom, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
At Third Coast Tom on Twitter, not X. You're not going to catch us call it X. I'm sorry. It just won't happen. At TCTom1 on Instagram. And as we've already talked about on the PSF app, I'm Third Coast Tom on there as well. The Astros chat room is where you want to be. There are other chat rooms. They're not as good as the Astros chat room. The Astros chat room was the number one, the OG, the very first. Yeah, come hang out. Come watch a game with us.
It's lots of fun. So you can find us on any of these streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube's. If you've not hit the big red subscribe button, what the fuck are we waiting for? Hit the big red subscribe button. A big shout out to a very nice and friendly couple on Friday night, and I have lost your name, and I'm so sorry about that. Your wife's name was Pam, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name to save my life, and I'm so very sorry. You're from Idaho, and apparently they recognized me on the tour, and I was like flabbergasted, and I did not know how to react. And my awkwardness set in. And so, if you ever see me in the wild and I don't talk to you because I don't know how to interact with people, I'm so very sorry. So, Pam and this gentleman that I cannot remember your name, and I'm so very sorry. I feel so bad. From Idaho, listens to the show. They found us on YouTube. And I'm all, what? I was taken aback. I took a picture with them. But if you are those people, please message me on Instagram or on Twitter. Don't leave your address on the YouTubes because that's weird. Don't do that. But like on Twitter or Facebook, you can do that too. So Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, please message me your address so that I can send you a little something, because you were so nice, and I was like an awkward human being, and I did not know how to talk to people. So again, if you ever see me in the wild and we don't talk about baseball, just know that I will be the most awkward human being in the entire world and not know how to talk. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know how to talk about literally anything but baseball, apparently, because I'm dumb. I sorely apologize, and now I'm like thinking about the interaction and how I could have talked to you and been like, oh my gosh, I don't understand how you were from Idaho. How are you from Idaho? How are you an Astros fan? We could have had a whole exchange, but my mind went blank because I don't know how to make small talk. And I'm so very sorry for that. And I really apologize, because I promise I'm not trying to be a bitch, not trying to like big time you. I just am an awkward human being, and I feel very badly. But it was so cool that they knew the show and they recognized us, and I was flabbergasted. And this is your warning, all of you other people. Apparently, don't approach me and tell me that you listen to the show, or else I can't talk. So I'm stupid. Very sorry about it.
What this has told me, this whole
Yeah.
interaction has told me, is I fully intend the next time I know Suzy's going to be out in the wild to wear some sort of disguise and pretend to be a fan to try to get this interaction so that I can report back to you guys and tell you just how it went. To go, are you Suzy? Do you have a podcast? Are you from Bourbon and Baseball? And just let y'all know exactly what
How
you have in
awkward I
store.
am. Yeah. And what needs to happen is you need to have a hidden recording so that you can all see how fucking awkward I am. This happened when someone recognized me from the PSF app too. And I was all, I can't make words. I don't know. I don't know how anyone does it. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I feel really weird. And then it makes me clam up. And I do this with my shoulders. My shoulders are up to my ears. And then I do this with my hands, and I don't, okay. I turn into Ricky Bobby, apparently. I apologize. Apologize that I am the most awkward human being on the entire face of the planet. I don't get embarrassed, but apparently I'm embarrassed about this behavior, and I'm very sorry about it. Regardless, besides the fact that I'm an awkward human being, that has no bearing on the show. Just hit the red subscribe button on the YouTubes. Tell all of your friends, hey, listen, I know she's super awkward, but she's actually funny, and she knows her shit about the baseballs. So maybe go listen to her. So on the YouTubes, Bourbon and Baseball, All the Balls edition, Astros edition. If you're an Astros fan, come over here. If you want to know about more baseballs, go over there. Talk with me and Kelsey. Kelsey and I know proper grammar. Kelsey is actually purchasing a house, and so she is out until Wednesday. So you're not getting a new episode of All of the Balls edition until later on this next week. And this next week will be like a big juicy episode because we're going to talk about all of the things. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Yay, baseball. Yay, Astros. I can't even talk anymore, guys. I'm so flustered. Hopefully we will turn it around. Hopefully I will turn it around. I'm 41 years old. I think it's too late for me to turn it around, peoples. But with that, we will wrap it up, and I will say, yay, baseball.